What knowledge might save your life one day? If a canker sore in your mouth or on your tongue isn't healing in about 2 weeks, it might not be a canker sore. I'm going into surgery today, and they will likely remove 100% of my oral cancer because of early detection. If you ever get held at gunpoint and asked to get in a vehicle, you fight with everything you've got to not do that. Run, zigzag, punch, and kick. Do whatever, even if you die in the process. Because 99% of the time, people who get in the car do not come back, especially if being moved from a public place to a private place. If you go swimming in a river, always check the bottom before jumping in, even if it is the same spot you have swum in before. The bottom can be filled in with rocks and sediment during the spring. Also, if you are swimming in a very deep gorge or quarry, it is probably best not to jump in, even though it seems super tempting. There is sometimes a second current further down, and lots of people drown by going too deep when they jump in and not being able to get back up. If you happen to be walking near a downed power line, do not take your feet off the ground. This can create a potential between you and the ground and cause a discharge through your body. Take small shuffling steps away without picking your feet up from the power line and call the authorities. If you have a squeezing, tight sensation in the middle of your chest that travels up the jaw and shoulders or down the left arm, chew up an aspirin and wash it down with water, and then call emergency services. You are likely having a heart attack, and aspirin is known to thin the blood enough to save your life. Edit. Yes, it could be a panic attack as well. As someone with wicked anxiety, the symptoms are unfortunately very close. I've taken that embarrassing ER trip as well. They said not to worry, and how common it was for people to come in having panic attacks instead of heart attacks. Don't swim in Florida waterways at night, dusk, or dawn because teeth. But if you should find yourself in the mouth of a hungry gator, don't go for the standard eye poke, go for the nostril poke. Jamming your finger in their nostril breaks the seal they use to keep water out of their airways when submerged, and they will release you instantly. 2 animal ones. If you are scuba free diving and a giant octopus grabs hold of you, do not try to pry him off of you. He has more arms than you and more ways to hold you. Focus on getting him off his anchor point. Rock, pipe, whatever. He can't pull you in and pull you down without using the leverage from his anchor. If you are being chased by a swarm of bees, do not jump into a lake or other body of water to escape. This isn't a cartoon. The bees will simply wait above the water to sting you, and now you have created a situation where you move slower, can't breathe as well, and suffer worse if the toxins affect you. You may even swallow a bunch of bees gasping for air. Also, water has unseen predators that you've now introduced to the equation. If pursued by bees, just keep running and running. They will defend their hive to a large proximity, perhaps even a mile. Just run until they feel they've won. Your best bet in knocking a person out is to strike the side of their neck, normally with a karate chop. A striking blow on the side of the neck requires the least amount of force than any other body part to create a blackout, and the person will pass out for 10 to 30 seconds before regaining conciseness. There are 100 ways to break a stranglehold. YouTube vids, self-defense classes, the works. Despite what many think, thanks movies, a stranglehold doesn't just stop you breathing in and giving you as long as you can hold your breath for. You'll be unconscious in much less time than that. Think about make or break as probably 5 seconds. What if they can dodge your stamp? If their arms are too long to reach their groin? Or if they're too strong to deadweight? The only one that seems it would work despite any size strength difference is breaking the pinky. You wedge your thumbs in and bend that pinky until it touches their wrist. I don't think anyone could maintain a grip with a couple of their fingers pointing in the wrong direction. Edit. It's interesting to read so many different views from medical, biological standpoint and from self-defense training. I wish to some extent that self-defense was more widely known, taught. Next week it will be 4 years ago that I lost a friend. She was strangled in a car park. Guy took 20 euros and used her car for a couple of days before he was found. If I'm lost in the woods, find a stream. Follow it downstream to a river, follow that downstream. Eventually, I'd reach civilization. Hopefully before night, because then I'd die for sure. A lot of people think I'll die, which is true. I'm not usually hiking in super remote places off the trail either. My logic is that streams lead to rivers, rivers lead to oceans, people tend to settle near water. Sooner or later, you'll see signs of civilization, power lines, roads, something if you can't stay put. For instance, I know if you're stuck on the Tashinshini River in winter and go downstream, you'll have a 200-mile hike downriver. And just reach a bay with no people, so if you're hiking in really remote places way off the grid, you shouldn't be taking survival tips from random Redditors. Bring a small mirror or reflective item whenever you're going someplace or doing an activity where you could end up stranded. The shiny reflection from a mirror can signal rescue aircraft much more easily than most other methods. Keep aspirin in your home. If you're having a heart attack, chew 2 and swallow. This will greatly increase your chance of survival. Also, you are much more likely to survive a heart attack if you are accessible. Living high up in a high-rise condo decreases your chance of survival, as it will take longer for first responders to get to you. I'm surprised this isn't higher, but don't move someone after a serious head trauma. You could potentially dislocate their spine, causing a permanent vegetative state. You're supposed to ask them to lay still until paramedics arrive and help them hold their head in place, while crouching near their head, with a hand on both sides of the head. You're only supposed to move if there is an immediate danger, like after a car accident and there's a potential for the car to catch fire. Yell at a knife, whisper at a gun. If you yell at an attacker with a knife, there is a small chance that could startle them, and they drop it. At the least, you are attracting attention and can get out of the situation. Always whisper at someone with a gun, or at least speak slowly and calmly. If you yell, that could startle them, and you could get shot. Most weapons are used as intimidation, so if it's your wallet they are after, talk calmly, give them your wallet, and back away slowly. If you find a USB drive, don't take it and use it. Some people just put viruses on them and leave them to be found. Running is the best self-defense. You won't get injured, you don't injure anyone, and so you don't need to waste time in hospital or at police station or go into court just to prove it was self-defense. Don't get into illegal taxis with multiple people you don't know. Learn the signs of stroke. Face has kind of fallen on one side, speech is slurred, can't raise hands. If you spot these symptoms, get to hospital ASAP, call ambulance. If you crash your car into a body of water and sinking. If your car door won't open and water is filling in, don't panic. Let the whole car go underwater and inside filled with water. Then and only then would the pressure equalize and the door will open with ease. Edit. Since people keep suggesting open windows, yes, you can open the windows if possible, and as earliest as you can when you and all your passengers are free from their seatbelt. But if you can't, do my suggestion. If you start to feel woozy and your limbs on one side of your body feel weak and numb, put ice on the opposite side of your head immediately. It could be a ruptured blood vessel in your brain, AVM. It happened to my brother in high school during a baseball practice, and the coaches pretty much helped save his life by icing his head. His left arm went extremely weak and they iced the right side of his head. The right side of the brain controls the left side of the body, and vice versa. Also call 911 immediately. My brother has since made a full recovery. When lost in the woods and hungry, there is a multi-step process you can follow to test to see if a plant is poisonous edible. The process is somewhat long and involved, but it could save your life if starving. General guide is, take the leaf berry root in question. Start by rubbing it on your wrist, wait an hour. Then rub some on your lips, wait an hour. Then put in your mouth, chew, spit it out, wait an hour. Eat a small amount, no more than a small mouthful. Wait an hour. If you don't get any weird reactions, discomfort by the last step, then consider eating it. When possible, boil it. Subscribe to our channel and don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss new and the coolest stories from all over Reddit in the future. See you next time.